Welcome back to the Forge Project. I'm your host, Justin Adams, and today I was speaking with my friend, Afi, from the Afi Kingdom podcast. He has over 1 million views on YouTube. He's the author of 8 best-selling published books on Amazon, and he's a life and relationship expert. He's been in the game for a long time, and we rap about guys and girls and habits and mindsets and all kinds of fun stuff in between. So sit back, take a listen, and enjoy the show. This is the Forge Project, a self-development coaching service and community that is dedicated in providing the leadership and guidance to drive improved mental, physical, and energetic well-being for men. Following you, and AV, and AV's been on my podcast, and just been listening to you guys rap on your channel. And what kind of like caught my eye was, well, my ear was that the stuff that you get into, it definitely like falls in line with what's pretty common out there, but you kind of have a more well-rounded out rounded out perspective, where it's not just like of the same vein. It kind of hit on a whole bunch of different things. And I mean, I know the AV likes to just kind of like focus on women and men, but it seems like you got like a broader perspective on things instead of like just what's going on between men and women.
Yeah, I'm an interesting dude, man. I'm telling you, like, my profession is a school teacher, so I teach elementary, and the reason why I bring that up is because I can see behaviors of kids and stuff and figure out how they are as adults. If I see an adult and I could tell, it's like I can put the X-ray vision on, right? Like I can see him as a 7-year-old now.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, you definitely could like see the child like operating within them.
Yep. So
and you had like I was looking, you published like 5 books now?
Yeah, 6 books really. I got one coming out in like 2 weeks. Yeah, just like this one. It's a psychology book, man. I'm gonna send you a free copy of the audio book when we get off of here. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm always like curious to see what the people are up to that I interview, because everybody's got their hands in this giant pool of self-development, but it's all different. It's all different, right? So like I mean, you kind of like in your shows like kind of like break down a lot of what guys are doing and like what they're not doing. And I've been just kind of wrapping my head around the idea for a while now of just like wondering like how dudes get stuck in these ways, because it's not like there's pressure. I mean, I guess there is like a subtle pressure, but I mean, as well as I do, it's a huge pervasive issue in our culture of like what's happening to men. And I don't know really where this crap is coming from. And so what do you think about that?
First off, the thirsty dudes. Now, I'll be telling guys, you think guys are thirsty on YouTube. It's not comparison in how they perform on Clubhouse. I thought I'd seen it all. When you go over there, it's a whole different level of simping and caping. But it also showed me like the women, like, damn, bro. The women that you listen to them, they're so desperate for companionship. And it's like they're almost begging for help. But you don't hear that out in the public though. So it's like you're behind it. They're begging for help. And then I didn't know there were so many prominent female dating coaches. There's hell of them. Matchmakers. I'll be like, damn, it's a whole nother world going on over here that I didn't know about. And
yeah.
Then you go to sex rooms and they'll talk about sex. and then the validation like this. So then that's the sex part, and then that's the relationship part, and then the validation. Like they have those silent rooms, and people are just in there, and I'm just thinking to myself like, you know, these guys always hit me up saying this girl's flaking and this girl's flaking, and they're just on Clubhouse doing nothing, follow for 5 hours, you know what I mean, with no kind of silent rooms where people just follow everybody and people follow. And I'm like, damn, bro, the validation people were willing to go through.
Wait a second, back up. So you're saying there's rooms that are quiet, they get filled up with people just for the sake of building up each other's followership,
Yes.
not out of because they feel like it, because they really want to like follow that person and get to know what they have to offer, but
No, like follow for
just the
follow.
numbers.
Yeah.
So like just old school Facebook game.
Yeah. Just follow for follow. They're just in there and then just follow. Okay, and then somebody will come on, make sure you follow the person on top of you, left and right, and all the moderate. And then just people would just come in and they just do that. And it's like, wow, God.
Jeez.
So when I
But
call you and I
yeah,
say I miss you, you just sitting there doing this, like, no,
that's crazy. That's crazy, man.
bro.
But yeah, the which just indicates how bad it is, where that people kind of really need that visual thing in front of them that says I'm of value, right? Because we equate this number with value. And I know you and AV talk about that, where say there's a YouTube guy who has a shit ton of followers and they're pumping out content like that, and but the quality of the content
Mhm.
is just this weak ass fodder. It's like Cheetos,
Mhm.
and it'll fill you up, but it has no nutritional value.
Yeah. Well, the issue is to see because me and you are older guys, so that's the shit that they spit sounds good to cats who don't know shit.
Right.
If I don't know no better, and you're saying some stuff that sounds significant, it's like, oh yeah. And then if I'm thinking it's fire, and then there's 10,000 guys in here saying it's fired, and it's fire. That's how
Hmm.
it works. You know what I'm saying? It's the value by connection. You know what I'm saying? So, oh well, if everybody else thinks it's cool, it must be cool.
Right. And that begs the question, do these people know who they are? Because if you do, then you really put your own judgment and your own perceptions in front of everything
Mhm.
and say, okay, wait a second, is this true? Is this valuable for me? Does this is this worthy content of my attention?
Right.
And but they don't do that. They just go, oh, hey, look at that. Like they've got 10,000 people like it up on these videos. It must be good.
Mhm.
And it's just not the same as like a product, right?
Right. It's not the same. People. That's how people judge value by popularity.
Yeah.
That's how they judge
Yeah.
value.
And then
Uh,
these guys, they they kind of like doing a major disservice for a lot of these people. And like a lot of the guys that I talk with, they're just coming out, right? Because they're starting to question things. So they're like, yeah, I just spent like the last 5 years listening to, I'm not going to mention names, but like popular people in like the red pill community. And as well as I do, there's just a lot of piss and vinegar in that community. A lot of hurt feelings, unprocessed feelings, being out of touch with themselves, and just riding on that anger, and that being like detached from what's actually happening in the world. And they're coming out of that, and they're really fucking confused, and they're just like, yeah, dude, you just filled your head up with 5 years of nonsense. And I'm not saying that red pill is complete nonsense, but to live it day after day for years, following this shit, it's like, come on, dude. You got
to,
at some point you got to think for yourself.
to be honest with you, I wouldn't even consider myself red pill, bro. The only reason why I do is just to simplify it, just so I can save myself an explanation. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
red pill is kind of like a pimp mindset a little bit, if you really understand certain things, because like this book, this is a pimp book. This is about controls, not about dating.
All right, hang up, but back up just for a second. Like you know what pimp in it, like real pimp. I
Yeah.
know what real pimp is. Okay, just kind of break down real quick like what that really is, because people use the word pimp in the wrong context all the time. They're like, oh damn, like those shoes are so pimp. It's like, no, 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 no. You
Right,
know,
right.
like, so
It,
what's real pimping, or what's real pimp mean?
it's Well, it doesn't have to do with the woman. It's just like being a boss, basically. In order to be a boss, you have to have certain qualities. And that's what a red pill mindset kind of is. What makes it mix and mesh is because it's red pill aware as having somewhat awareness of how things work around you in your environment. But the thing is we put it to women because that's what guys care about. So they, instead of figuring out life, they want to figure out women first, then life. So they apply it to that. Because what I always teach is, you guys do understand female nature is female nature. Female nature is a word that we hear, but they only incorporate it to people who they date. No, female nature is your mom, your sister, the lady at the bank, the gas station you go to, the lady at TJ Maxx who you like. Female nature is about all of that, but guys only focus on it because they like sex. So it's direct female nature. They want to apply it to who are they directly dealing with, and that's why it matters. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom, she does stuff, and I'd be like, okay, but guys seem not to incorporate that. So just having that pimp mindset is just being in control of your environment, thinking first, and it's just like playing chess. Everybody else play checkers. Everything that I do, what is it? It's like Saturday, so I'm already kind of my days are it's a Thursday. I'm always trying to think about the next thing. I don't let things happen to me. I'm always planning and figuring out if I do this, then this is going to happen. If I do this, this is going to happen. Like a lot of people, like even my fan base, they like me a lot because a lot of things that I've talked about on videos actually happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on manifestation, and I'm big on other people holding me accountable too. And that's just all about mindset. My channel, when I first started, it was called Dominance Mindset Raw Game. I changed it to Afi Kingdom on accident, and I just stuck with it because I am Afi Kingdom, but that wasn't the name of the channel at first. It was Dominance Mindset and Raw Game because I'm all about the mind stuff, man. I'm all about, you know, like when we say pimps, I would be considered a finesse. I can do it with my hands off. That's what I want to do. I want to, and just through experiences at an early age, I figured out I can do certain things, and I was like, okay, well, let me master this. And I don't know, when you are a man and you are a master of your thoughts and emotion, it's almost like you live on a cheat code. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Because that's the
Yeah.
downfall of most men. Most men, whether it's a woman, whether it's their job, or it's their financial, but it activates two things: their financial shit, that makes them break, you know, or the other thing. So when you in your emotions, so when you can, if anything had back when what like my channel got deleted, for some stuff that I didn't even do, but I didn't cry about it. I didn't go on YouTube. Oh, look what happened to me. I said, okay, why has it happened? What am I going to do next? Boom. And I end up getting it back, but it just shows like, how two people could have the same experiences and it's about how they react to it. I'm always going to react player to my situations because, when you lose a track, when you lose control of your emotions, the situation ain't going to change.
Hmm.
The situation, life ain't gonna be like, you know what? We was gonna give Justin a fucked up time, but since he's crying and he seems hurt, let's make him his day better. They don't. Life don't care.
No, no.
So the quicker I get out of my feelings, the quicker I can figure out what I'm gonna do.
Sure.
And that's the pimp mindset. That's the pimp mindset. Just like a pimp. A pimp has to. You have to sit back. You have to control. You have to know your prey. You gotta know what this one do. How is this one? This one right here. Okay, how is she motivated? Okay. How is she demotivated? Okay, what makes her smile? And that's the real game because when I talk to this female over here, she's activated differently than this one.
Hmm.
That's where the mindset comes in. It's not, that's why game is, what do you say to girl? You got to be applicable. You got to be MacGyver. You got to be able
Hmm.
to say, this requires a saw. This requires a knife. And you got to be on fast action.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Like kind of like how Bruce Lee describes being
Mhm.
who he
Water.
is. He said, be like water, because you take the water, you pour it in a cup, it becomes a cup. You pour it in a bowl, it becomes the bowl, right? And that's definitely how you have to be. If women is your thing, that's fine, but it's the same sort of idea that applies to business. It applies to your other endeavors. It applies to your family, friendships, basically anything you do. And but without, it's like being flexible but without losing sight of who you are,
Right.
because some people get too flexible and they become too agreeable, and then they
Lose
embody
themselves.
too much, embodying whatever vessel they're in. and
Mhm.
and that's where the dangerous thing comes in. But I could see what you're saying, like the similarities between the basic red pill mindset and pimp, because it's understanding things as they are, and then operating with that awareness.
Right.
But the problem is that a lot of these guys, I feel anyways, they don't have the operate part in there. It's
Mhm.
just awareness, and then they sit around and bicker amongst each other about what
Mhm.
the fuck is going on. And it's like, well, if you're not doing anything with this knowledge, then like, who the fuck are you? Right?
They like
Like,
masturbating to the red pill, bro.
mhm.
They want it's just like fake cats who like to watch Undisputed and ESPN. They want it because they want to be able to talk the talk with the talkers. That's why.
Yes, yes, yes. That's absolutely right. And they want to, and that's kind of what happens when you spend too much time watching other people than yourself. Okay. Now, as a content creator, you have to, you want people to watch you, but you don't want them stuck to you like glue day after day, year after year, because that means they're not really listening to you. They're not progressing their lives, right? So it's like when I work with people, I want them to leave me, right? I don't
Right.
want them stuck to my side forever, because that means I'm not doing my job.
Mhm.
And these guys, they get stuck in these modes, and they're just there. Like, I bet if I went to like the old MGTOW groups on Facebook that I was in 6, 7 years ago, I bet you anything the dudes are still there that were there when I
Who
joined.
brought you here, Darius?
Here where?
To the red pill, Darius, Big Tower and all that.
Oh no, I
That's Darius. I won the shot. You already know I've worked with Darius before.
no, it wasn't. It was years ago, and I was like, what the fuck is this red pill shit? And I actually, you ever heard of the author called the Blue Pill Professor?
No, never heard of
No,
that.
he's not very well known, but he wrote a book about, like, basically like how to save a marriage.
Mm.
And it was all red pill knowledge, but I didn't understand why he called himself the Blue Pill Professor. But it was, I don't know, play on words, but that kind of like got me, I guess, indoctrinated. And I left all that shit because of what I saw. It was a lot of just hurt dudes that are staying hurt and just want to sit there and complain about women. It's like, dude, don't you realize that women are great? Like, I love spending time with women.
Yeah, that's what I be saying. Like, I didn't come here because my heart broken up. That's why the way I run my shows is different. The way that I talk is different. The way I interact with women on my channel is different. Like, you see, I don't. It's not even like I just say don't. I show it. Women come. I don't be like, hey, I do it, but I'll be like, I talk. That's how I talk to chicks. Like, you can't tell I'm used to this.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
so I'm not just trying stuff, man. So I'm just like a player who just happened to create content. You know what I'm saying? But because I
Yeah,
don't
man.
really follow the rules, I do that stuff. Like even like when I started, I was doing the breakdowns and certain little things. I just seen how talk like when I came to the red pill, the talking points was like baby mamas, black women, and it's your turn. It's she never yours. It was that. See, when I came in here, my first stuff, I was talking about coming how to start rotations, boss king commandments, never take women on dates. This is how I came into this shit. So I'm
Hmm.
coming in way off, right?
Oh
But I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know my problem is I speak a language that people don't understand. I don't simplify things, but I don't want to, because it's like my information is for the people who understand it. I don't want everybody to understand it. I don't want to be mainstream. I want to be mainstream as far as another level, not with the red pill cats, but when I talk mainstream, I'm talking about Breakfast Club. That's what I look at.
Mhm.
Those are my goals. I'm not necessarily trying to be a dating coach or the top one, even though I was gifted that. But I look at myself as a charismatic dude who knows how to talk to everyone. And what YouTube taught me is people like to listen to it. So I say, okay, well, this is a cool. I like to talk. People like to listen. There's other people over here that like to talk and listen, and they getting paid big time. So now, boom, you're looking at it differently now. Like, wow, like this isn't a hobby. This could be a real thing. And then you just maneuver stuff differently. Like, like a lot of people, they go on YouTube and they even do panels, but they just be talking shit the whole time. I look at stuff. I'm a really analytical cat. When I do shows, I be having shows down to the minute as far as how long I want it to be. 10 minutes of this, 15 minutes of that, 20 minutes of this, and this is while it's going on. Like it's a show,
Sure. And
not
part of a good show is actually having various things in there, having a variety of shit, right? Like that's why people love eating at buffets because they're like, "Ooh, I can have a scoop of pudding and 3 bites of steak and a piece of cauliflower." And so I think it's great when people have guests on their show, but oftentimes it's just more of the same voice. And it's really cool when you get people on where you're like, holy shit, you think like that? Like, and not even in a bad way, but it's just a surprising way, right? And that's why like people like Rogan does so well because he gets people who think all kinds of crazy shit. And he's not there to criticize them or break them down or tell them they're wrong. It's just like, let's listen to your crazy fucking ass.
Yeah,
Right.
he always say he just started with a microphone and the couch. And the funny thing is, bro, I don't understand how you or me can say the same thing and people think it's crazy, but then other people like I say, when I talk and I get into my rants and my teacher mode, I be saying like I don't feel like these famous guys say shit that's better and more prolific than me. It's just that they're so and so saying it. You know what I mean? Like
Of course. Yeah.
people are like, oh my God, Kanye West, he's so deep. Like, I mean, he's kind of quirky. He's just a famous person. He is very intelligent, but just you just look at people like Ti. Like
Mhm.
I would be looked at as Ti if I was a rapper. Like, oh, he talks well, but I'm just a regular dude, so it doesn't. It's nothing.
Right.
you know. But
Right.
funny
but
with the
it, but it's but it's also like to the quality that you're affecting people's lives,
yeah,
right? I mean, and as a teacher, you understand that it's like if you can get through to somebody, even if it's just like one person, and you really change their life, and they go whoa, and they have this huge aha moment to themselves, that's better than 100 people just being like that's cool.
right.
What you just said was cool. It's like, yeah, that's not really the fucking point, is to be cool and get get some hand clapping. It's about changing the way you think, or at
Mhm.
least challenging you to change your own thinking.
Right.
And like that's kind of like the crux of the matter is that like people, it's really hard to get people to figure shit out on their own. And guys are, I don't, again, like I don't know where that shit comes from, where they're stuck in these modes of just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And even if you do, they don't. But they get stuck in these mentalities of just waiting to be told what to do so they can feel better or more secure about their hand in life. It's
Mhm.
fucked up.
Yeah, man. A lot of these guys will have no guidance and no strong. See, my father passed away too, but the difference thing with me is I saw out after guidance because I knew it was important. I didn't have to wait, and it just shows like I didn't have to wait for somebody to come and be like, "Let me help you out, young brother." Like I knew I needed it. There's certain things that I want to do, and that requires some knowledge that I don't have. And my
Mhm.
mom and I gonna teach me because she's not a man.
No, no. No, I was just in a clubhouse room earlier today, and talking to ladies, and just explaining to them that they have things to teach, but they can't teach how to be a man,
Mhm.
and so they're limited in their capacities. So it's imperative that they find something for that male child that can at least emulate the place of a father if they can't find that father. Like,
Right.
find that good coach, find that good teacher, and be like, hey, like, he needs to hear the shit that he needs to hear, and I can't do it for him, right? Like, and I was in the same place, like, my father left when I was pretty young, and and I had coaches. I had a lot of sports coaches who kind of filled in different pockets
Mhm.
to, like, cumulatively act as like a father role. And I don't know where I'd be without those guys. So, and it's like a lot of these young Jews, they're not getting into sports. Like, they're not being physical. They're just fucking stuck on their screens and just not exercising, getting their blood flowing, moving, having a sense of competition,
Mhm.
right? Healthy competition amongst one another. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with these kids these days, man.
Terrible, bro.
I mean,
Terrible.
as a teacher, you see that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And just even the parents, bro. Like,
What do you mean?
because we doing it from home now, so I get to see the interaction for reals. Parents will make it sound really good, just like teachers will sound really good. Like teachers can, oh, da, 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 and tell you all this. Oh yeah, he did this, and then yeah, that shit ain't happen. So the parents know how to sell it too. Oh, I sat with them and he came. I don't know why he's doing this at school because at home we're doing this, this, and this, and he never goes back and forth. Yeah, now I get to really see.
Hmm.
Well. Tell me how come I find out he won't even sit down while you sit right there, and he don't care about you. But you expect me to get him to sit down, be quiet, and listen and learn. And I'm virtually here. You're literally in front of him, and you can't get him to do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and you're in charge of taking away toys, TV, fancy clothes. You can do all of that. All I could do was sit here and be mad, but you
Hmm.
want me to do it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like the babysitting mentality starts off really early. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, a lot of people, they're stressed out. They got kids, and they just treat education as like a means of babysitting their child for a few hours while they go to work,
Mm-hmm.
and hoping that, like, the teachers are going to do for their child what they're supposed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
when the teachers are just supposed to be teaching, not harnessing their child's behavior, right? They were hoping that the parents are doing that, so then your job becomes easier, and they just soak that shit up. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, you spend a lot of time babysitting and controlling, like, fucked up behavior, and nah.
It's horrible, bro.
uh
Well, because see, it wasn't as bad at first. And I just sent you that book by the way. You thought I was going to sleep, probably. Nope. I was just busy sending you an audio book. That's it.
all right, no,
Oh,
that I appreciate that. I'll check it out tonight.
oh man. Man, the kids, man. It's crazy how it is. Like the parents really feel like it's your job to just be the parent and everything. I don't know. It was different before because quarantine happened in the mid year, so I kind of already had some somewhat foundation and rapport with the kids already. Now the new school year started August, so I don't know these kids. I ain't never met them before. They see me just how I see you, and that's it. They don't know how I walk. They don't know how I stand. They don't know how tall or intimidating I might be. That's all they
Mhm.
see is this.
Right.
So you don't even really have no power like that. See, before I can, you can cross reference stuff that they understand. These kids don't know me. I'm new,
Sure.
so it's different. You know.
Absolutely. And like, that just goes to show, just kind of turning it back on relationships, dating, and things like that, how important your presence is. because yes, if you've got a strong presence, you can convey that through all means of communication, but it comes from having like like a solid sense of who you are, and when you're in front of somebody, how that presence can affect how they receive you,
Hmm.
and it can totally either repel them or engage them. And and guys spending so much time in front of their computers instead of talking to people and learning how to interact with individuals, they don't develop that skill at all. And then
Hmm.
just like, oh fuck, I have approach anxiety. It's like, no, you don't. You're just fucking frustrated.
Right. Yeah. I would say all she could do is tell you no, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
why don't you? Why if you want a life changing, then why don't you drive drunk, get your ass take you to jail? That's the real consequence. And
Hmm.
then when a woman tells you, "I got a boy," that don't stick you. Doesn't
Right.
hurt. You have been to a place where, damn, I'm hungry as hell. I want to eat some chicken. Well, today is bologna, bro. So what you gonna do? This today is bread and mustard. We ain't. Oh, I want some cereal. Yeah. Well, we serving carrot. Oh, I want to see a girl. Can't do that. When you get your freedom took away from you, you don't look at a woman saying no thank you as a dun dun dun.
Right. Yep.
Like, okay, let me find another one. Like I'll be telling guys, like a lot of times these women are doing you a favor. They're not as put together as they convince you and look like they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Which it like, so first I wanted to, because you mentioned something interesting, like about being in jail as a metaphor, but in a literal sense, these guys are putting themselves in their own kind of jail
Right.
by being that separated, by being behind their screens all the time. It's like they put themselves in sort of like a self-imposed prison. And then they're like, oh, why can't I like get a girlfriend just to hold hands with? And and it's like, dude, it just doesn't work that way. So like no wonder you're scared. Like just step out of your own prison. Like no one's holding you back.
That's another big problem, bro. This is imperative right here. Guys think they don't need game or don't need to understand women if they want a girlfriend. They think that's just if you want to be a player or single that applies to that. Like, oh, that's for the rotation, or that's yeah, you out there at the bars. That's good for you. I got my girl right. No, you need it more than I do.
Uh-huh.
Because
Because
he
you're
can
there,
figure you
because
out.
you're
They can't
there
sleep
every
with the bar.
day.
Yeah, they can't figure me out. This one sleep with you every night. You
Uh-huh.
really need the good game more than me. I'm just finessing her, telling her the best 10 things she ever heard in her life that night. Boom, taking her down, and then doing it over there, taking her down. This one know what kind of drawers I wear, what I smell like, how to turn me off, how to piss me. This is where you need the game.
Uh-huh.
Maybe dismiss them. Oh, yeah, bro, but I got a girl, bro. I'm married. That's all. That's You'll once you settle
I'm
down,
good.
when
I
you
could
settle
just
down one
chill.
day, you get it. No, bro, you're gonna get your heart broke because you'll understand what the fuck. Excuse me. You don't understand what she trying to tell you. You see, women, when guys be like, "Oh no, what's going on? She's got an attitude. She's throwing shit at me." Yeah, bro. The reason why she's throwing stuff at you is because she didn't do 100 clues that you didn't miss because you was playing video games or you was wrapped up in your ego thinking because she had sex with her last night that it was all good. That don't mean anything.
Uh-huh. No, not at all.
That's where
It,
the red pill comes. Just knowing, just like okay, like a girl, like if a girl be like, "Dang, you always leaving the toilet up." Yeah, you probably do, but she mad off of something else. That's just the way. She really
uh-huh.
mad that you spending too much. That you spending too much time doing podcasts.
Right.
You don't want to say that because she know that you take it, you passionate about it, and you probably cook her for that. So instead of that, she gonna be like, "Oh, you always leaving stuff all around." Just and you like what? And then see, that's why you gotta be in control of your emotions because then you go, "Oh, I ain't doing nothing."
Yeah.
And then now she's saying what she really say. Then now you pissed off. See, red pill.
Uh,
Oh, okay. I already know what she up to. Oh, okay. Yeah, for real. Oh, I'll close it in a minute. Okay. Hey, I love you too. Oh, fuck me. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, keep that same energy in the bed then. Okay, cool. And anyways, I
uh-huh.
got a podcast to do. That's how you handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't realize, like it's funny because like all these dudes, they have this root of emptiness, right? And they're like, man, I gotta get a girl, gotta get a girl, and they're just fucking obsessed, right? And then they spend so much time watching videos, shit, reading books, and filling their heads with all this shit that like other people have done, right? And I'm not discounting it, right? Because some of it can apply to multiple people, but it's their experience, okay? And then they're like, okay, now I'm gonna go out and like pick up girls when really they're just insecure and they want just one person to be with. Fair enough, okay? But what I explained to them, I'm like, okay, great. So you go to the bar, you learn some shit, or you go to the club, you learn some shit, and you get this girl interested. Now what? Right?
Right.
And they're like, oh well, I studied this, like a conversation game.
Right.
Okay, great. So now you talk to her for a half an hour and or an hour. You guys are having a good time, and guess what? She's invited you over. What you gonna do now? Right? Oh my gosh, you spent the night, right? Or the next day she wants to go get brunch or whatever. Did you read are you up on game for the next day at brunch? What if you start seeing each other, right? A week, months, years. Do you have all that in preparation, right? And it's like, no, 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 no. It's like, well, that means you're wasting your time studying all this shit, trying to learn tactics and techniques and all that bullshit. It's like, it's almost a disservice of to who you are because you're
They
learning
focus
all this
more on
external
getting the
shit.
girl than actually dealing with women. They focus more on getting them. Like,
Yes, yeah, just getting that kill, and then they don't really know how. It's like hunting. It's like you're right. I'll teach you how to like kill the deer, and then they're like, okay, great, I can get. It's like, no, that's just the beginning. Right? You got to learn how to dress the deer, how to get it back to your vehicle or whatever, dress it at home, how to prepare it so you don't get sick or whatever, how to store it, and then how to cook it. It's this whole thing, right? And and it's not just like throwing it over a flame. Like there's like an art to cooking then. And it becomes this whole huge thing. And it's like, yeah, they just focus so much on that immediate, like, okay, I got her, like, oh, we slept together. It's like, well, good for you, dude. What the fuck does that mean? Great. Now you're laid, you busted a nut. Now what? Now what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your life? Like it's and I guess it's a sort of thing where if you withhold something from a child, they just want it more.
yeah,
And like as well as I do, when you have a lot of experiences with women, you kind of get bored. You kind of just like, all right, but like I don't know.
you've been
I
married
get
before?
yes, I have.
Right, right.
And then since then, it's just been like I could just do whatever I want. Like women are just like very easy. It's no stress, but it's not that exciting. And it's like, um, but not in a bad way. It's just like, I don't know. I'd rather like network with people and like produce things and have fun and ride my motorcycle and create businesses and make money and right,
See, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell you a secret. You wanna know a secret?
Of course, yeah. Hit me.
I got some. I got some relationship questions for you too. And
Okay.
I got good questions. I'm gonna put you on a good one, but
All
I'm gonna
right.
say that because you're gonna come to my channel. I'm gonna interview you, so I'm save it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do that. Do that. Yes.
I'm gonna
Yep.
save it.
So I'm looking here at like the what's the book that you sent me? Did you send me Conversation with the Mind?
Yep.
All right. And so it says here that I'm excited to listen to this. And so you have like exercises and directions
Mhm.
uh about like what how to go about like kind of harnessing your own mind, yeah?
Oh, in this book, no. So you want me to give you a quick synopsis?
Yeah, sure, sure.
All right. So this book, it's not what you think.
All
So
right.
first off, I tell you the reason why I wrote the book is because in the spear, and when I say spear, I mean manosphere,
Mhm.
we talk about looks, money, status. You need all three or one of the three. See, I come from a different era. Um, we talked about earlier, so it's like my game is different. I know what's really important, and it's this and this.
Mhm.
So I say I'm gonna write a book to show. I'm gonna take the listener on a journey. So it sounds when you first read the book, it sounds like a one night stand, and then the book happens because it's not. It's about perception, the way that the words are interpreted. You think there's one thing is happening, and then another thing happens. So basically, it's not a man woman situation. It's a it's a dictator disciple situation. One person is in control, and the other person is the one that I'm controlling. So basically, if I want to contrast it to you, let's say I took your soul. So I took your soul. So if I took your soul, that means that I'm in control. So if I'm in control of you, that means I'm in control of how and what you think. So there's a threshold. The movie it starts at that point where one person is trying to figure out what's going on, and then here I am, like, oh yeah, I got your soul, But let me tell you how I did it. Then I go through the steps
Mm.
to and I tell it to them. So the person, so it happens, so it starts off at one point and then it goes in reverse. And I kind of go through the process of how we got to this point, right?
Damn. Yeah, that sounds like a perfect book for me.
Like for instance, so the chapters are narrative, trauma, the dark side, perception, transition from heart to soul, director of your emotions, secrets of my disciple, ego, motivation, desire. And then if you, the vision director and executive producer, what you thought you understood. This is all finesse, raw sexual desires, power, influence, and seduction, keeping the soul alive, hypnosis affairs. See, this isn't dating, this is control stuff, right? So
Hmm.
if you are like this stuff, if you know how to applicable, like it's some really mind stuff. And then so then it comes to a point where say you learn the skills through me of how to influence and control, right? So to the sequel, Conversation with the Souls, is you bringing me these disciples that I've chosen. You don't know why I chose them. There's a reason why I'm having you bringing them to me, and then you bring them to me, and then that's when the story happens. So this Conversation with the Souls. This is conversation with the mind. This is one person to another person. The
Hmm.
souls is what you bring to me, and then they're all underworld characters. Underworld meaning like we got pimps, players, hustlers, prostitutes, and it's all, so they're all these people all live separate lives, but they're all connected,
Mm.
and it all goes down in the end.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds like a super cool read. I yeah, definitely can't wait to get my get my
I didn't
ears
get to
on
the date until number three.
it.
That's why I did it. That's
Yeah.
why I did it though, because the second book I wrote, Finesse Game. See, and it's just a mindset. Because even though that book is about women for women, finesse is an acronym: finding intent necessary, never empower someone else's endeavors. Right. So somebody said to me, "Yeah, you spelled finesse wrong." No, I spelled it the way I wrote it. I wrote the book. The
Hmm.
finesse stand for something else, fool. But even then, that's for women. That's you find it necessary. It's just about control. Like, okay, if I'm in a farmer, if somebody drops me off in a farm, it looks like it's, hey, I think I might need a rake. You just got to know that it's that level of awareness. Instead of trying to help me, what can I? You just know things.
Yes. And that sort of understanding of how things break down, it goes to everything. It goes to everything. Like people don't realize that running a business hasn't much to do with the thing that you're putting out there, right? I mean, of course, you want to make sure it's quality, whatever it is that you're putting out there, like, or let's hope that you're putting out something with quality. But what keeps it running is your mindset of
Right.
how you see yourself and how you relate to what you're doing and how that relates to the world. And so similarly, like we've heard many times and say it to many people that, the game has nothing to do with women at all.
Right.
It has absolutely nothing to do with them. And with the huge emphasis on making it about them, they're really shooting themselves in the foot. Guys are just, and they don't realize it. And they're just sitting there with a nine, like just going bang, 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 bang in their feet. It's like, dude, stop, just stop with the women. Stop it. Stop it. Do your thing, man. And they'll just come to you. Or maybe not that way, but when you go out, you don't have to put in so much effort,
Mm.
right? Because who you are just kind of will breathe through your skin. It'll just come out, right? And then it's just no problem. And if she says no, it's like, all right, cool. Like, no big deal. That
Let me
girl's
ask you
cute.
one question about relationships, though.
Yeah.
So, were you a different guy when you were married, or were you just or were you just you but committed? You don't remember?
No. Well, it was a transition over time. So at the onset, I was me, but then I slowly fell into the drug of comfort. And comfort is one of the greatest poisons that a man can ingest. It really takes our edge off. It makes our mind sloppy. It makes our body sloppy. It reduces that animal nature. It reduces our sense of competition and our fighting spirit. And I slowly over time eroded, while at the same time, of course, that's going to make a woman more and more bitchy and more resentful and so on. So it's this compounding factor. And that's when it was just like, she was just like, you know what, I'm done with this. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. And I'm like, all right, well, let me just get a divorce. And that kind of threw her for a loop, because that's when I started having red, like towards the end, that's when I was seeking help and found red pill and MGTOW. And I just said it like it was. And she was like, whoa, what? And I'm like, yeah, it makes
That's the best
sense.
thing I like about it, because people always think it's just it just happened to you. So that's the thing. That's the thing that I like about the red pill the most is it teaches it that it's the women and not the men. Because it's all because you know we're situational. Oh, that's because you met her there. You should have wiped that kind of girl up. You knew she was, or that's because it's this kind of girl. But it just says, well, how come I'm in Oakland, you're in Chicago, this Asian guy lives in Russia, but we had the same experience. What's the
Mhm.
common denominator?
Right.
That's what I like. And that's the reference that we connect.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
And people are quick
Yes.
to be like, oh, that's you. Oh, that's just the kind of girls you deal with. I deal with white girls. I ain't got to deal with that. It's no, they
No,
all do.
dude. Yeah, that blows my mind. Like when people, like, I was listening to this one thing. I can't remember where I heard it, but the dude comes on and he's like, "So, how do I get black women?" And I heard that, and I just started shaking my head. I'm just like, dude, like, like you're. I don't even know where to start with somebody like that,
Right.
because they just got their brain in a totally wrong place to begin with. And it
Mhm.
has nothing to do with what she looks like, because this isn't about women at all.
You done had some jungle fever in your day.
I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you
No,
suit
I'm
my
just saying, I
fancy,
can
you
tell.
suit my fancy. Yeah,
I can
yeah, of
tell
course.
you done had some sister love.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm in New
I was
York,
like, I know.
Yeah, hey, I live in Brooklyn, so it's just what's up, but it's just not a thing. It's like, it's just the person, they strike my fancy, I'm going to talk to them. Like, it is what it is. But like, their heads just all screwed up, and what, like, focusing on the details of like what's outside of them, and it's just having no idea of like, they're like, what do I do? And it's like, dude, like, do you even know anything that you fucking believe in? Right? Beyond what's like plugged at you through media, right? Like, what do you believe in? Like, what was something that you would fight for, right? What's a concept that you'd fight for, or that you'd get into like an argument over about your character, right?
Right.
Like, that's much more important than fucking getting a girlfriend that you can hold hands with and listen to sad music together. you know?
Well, did you think that was the way though coming up? Like, oh, I just want to meet one girl. Because I wasn't
Oh,
like that, bro. I had to
yeah.
try to make myself like that because I didn't feel normal. Because I didn't have one other person in my circle growing up that thought the way that I did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like just coming from where I was, just like white middle class, suburban, upstate New York neighborhood, like small city. And so I was subjected to all uh the normal programming that's out there through media, movies, Disney, music. And so I had this belief and understanding that like uh the white knight, the chivalrous person who falls on his sword for women, just simping before there was such a thing called simping, but there's always been simps. I mean, since there's been control of men's minds, there has been simps, and I understand it. Like I get it to a degree. Like it's for so you promote simping, you promote the nuclear family, but it's in the vein of capitalism. So it's like we got to produce families to produce taxpayers so we
Right.
can keep this whole shit going. And Hollywood is involved, the marriage industry is involved, it's all involved, right? The fitness industry is involved, and it's all about like keeping that baby making machine going so we can keep this capitalist system thriving of people like wanting and buying and consuming. And it's just like it's fucked. But like, you look at like real motherfuckers, right? Real men, they stand on their own. And it's like if they want to buy something, they buy it out of like a need for a situation or whatever. It's not, they operate on like just their own shit, and they're not trying to like fill up their lives with consuming, like constant consuming. It's like minimal, and they're creating, right? And it's just like they don't, like real men, you notice like they don't have like a high sense of hunger because they're very fulfilled in themselves. You look at like Conan the Barbarian, like shit like that. But yeah, I was early on, I was very much in, I guess, what you would call the matrix of the mating scene as we are, as we know it. I was in it.
I had the mindset that you had to treat your girl like a queen. I had that. Like, you gotta treat her special. You gotta let her. I mean, and you do. Like, I just did something special for a woman earlier, but she deserved it. I'm not doing it
Right.
because
Yeah.
I want her to think I'm great. It's just because she didn't deal with my bullshit, so I gotta give her something every now and then.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm
Yeah.
with I'm with the bullshit, bro.
Uh-huh.
I'm a Gemini too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, see all over the place.
Yeah,
But
bro.
so yeah, I mean that whole queen thing, that drives me insane because like if you know anything about even just the slightest
I gotta make
inkling
sure I'm on your
about,
clubhouse when we get off of here because I wanna. You be hosting them too.
yeah,
That's
8 o'clock.
not to cut you off, but it's hard for me to adjust because I'm used to running my own shit and I don't be knowing when to say stuff, even though they tell you can. It's just weird for me to do it in the room full of strangers sometimes. How could I get over that? Like, even though they be like, "Oh, it's open," but it just be seeming like I be feeling like, damn, I don't want these cats don't know me. I don't want to just go on a tangent because I talk for 2-3 hours at a time, moderate, do panels, so I can come on this shit and take your whole thing over if I really want to. So just try to find that line between.
I've done that. I've done that. Uh I've taken over rooms, and it's just, I don't know, it just happens.
Yeah.
So I just followed you.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, I followed you on Clubhouse.
Cool. Yeah.
Um and so you could just, I guess, go to my profile, and like it's called stop friend zoning yourself.
Got you.
And because dudes put themselves in that shit all day long.
And what time you
But
doing it?
8 o'clock my time, so in an hour.
Okay,
1 hour.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna tune in for sure.
Yeah, sure. But like, what that thing about like the queens, like there was this lady, and I go into relationship rooms sometimes, and always like, especially rooms that have like a lot of black dudes in it. There's a lot of like throwing around like queen, 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 queen. And it's like, yo, don't you know how that shit is made? Okay. Like a long time ago, when there were actual kings of this earth, right?
Yeah.
Who controlled fucking Alexander the Great, okay? Or the Roman Empire. It's like they control vast
Right.
areas of land,
Yeah.
fucking huge. Okay. When they chose a woman, right? And people would come and present, right? So the king is in there, he's got his prince who's gonna be king. All the other fathers, they're like, fuck, all right, my daughter's hot, she's young. I gotta get her married up, right? And they have their assets, they have their lands, they got these resources and so on. They're like, and they set them up, and the king is on one end, and they say, now presenting so and his daughter, so and so. Yes. And it's like they present these women as like, okay, we're offering this up. This is what I got. This is the relationship that we can foster and grow. What do you think? Right. And she's got to charm him and all that shit. Sex doesn't happen way later until they're married. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like these women throwing sex at everything
I
real
missed it,
easy.
bro. I kind of missed that. Just like,
And like queen, my point is that queens are made. You
yeah,
just don't fucking decide because you're like watch some fucking self-empowerment video. Like,
yeah. Like not necessarily feminist, but it's like you know how women think they're dudes now. Like if they could, it takes the whole like man. Like even if I have sex with a nude, it's still a different accomplishment. Like it doesn't like okay. Remember back in the day when a girl gave you oral sex, that mean you were special. That wasn't
mhm.
just happening,
No,
right?
no.
Like you tell you young, you tell your friends, hey bro, man, remember the one I told you, man, I hit like for real. And she gave me what?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like you can get that, and the sex part won't even happen.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it
the
was
women are
like a
like,
unique thing.
I was just getting mine. That
Mhm.
vibe.
Yeah. And now it's like a means of like showing off, right? Like you got like, like you got some great dome. And it's like, okay, I can respect good technique, but it's like on the same, like it's a double-edged sword. It's like, well, how'd you get so damn good?
Right.
Right?
OnlyFans exposed a
It's not
lot.
like there's seminars out there.
The OnlyFans, man. I hope the women is doing good because that's not gonna last forever. I hope they
No.
get their money.
But I respect it if you're out there, right? And you want to be that alpha woman and get your bag and control that boardroom and excel your career. Like, yeah, like do what you need to do with your own goals. You know what I'm saying? But have the understanding that you cannot bring that home and have a good relationship.
Right.
It's not going to happen unless you're the one of those very rare people who wants to dominate their relationship and you like having a subservient man. And that's a rare, I'm
It
sure
ain't
it
gonna make her
exists,
wet.
but it's
It
got
don't
to
make
be
her wet
very
though.
rare.
That's why she ended up cheating because it don't make her wet. She'll get her stability fixed, but she need to
Yeah.
get wet too though.
Yeah. I mean, and there's what I think is there's a lot of fear there, right? Because, and it's understandable because when a woman like really falls into a man's masculinity, there's a sense of losing control. But it comes with a caveat. He has to be such a way that she's comfortable in doing that, right? Like I got you, right? Emotionally, she has to feel comfortable. And what guys don't understand, and a lot of girls too, is that that's what brings out their real feminine power. Like that's where female power actually exists, is when they're able to open up and soften up and become like really excellent women. And it has nothing to do with being fucking strong, right? It's this inner power that doesn't get exercised at all, right? Because it requires a certain kind of guy to kind of allow that to just like all the barriers fall away and they open up, and it's a beautiful thing to witness when a woman can really be in her true feminine energy. And a lot of them, they don't even know. So when they get around a real motherfucker who is okay in his own shit and she can open up to, they're like, wow, like I feel amazing. And like, oh, you're not falling in love with me. You're falling in love with how you feel when you're with me. Right? You're really falling in love with yourself in this experience. So like ease
Hey,
back.
that's good game right there. Fire game. That's the thing. I say that in this book.
Uh-huh.
When women ask you to do stuff, it's still for them.
Hmm.
Even when they do stuff for you, it's still for them. If they give you some Jordans, they want the validation that you be. That's why they do it.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
still for them. It's not you think it's for you. It's still for them. You know.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
take pride. I'm actually a person, bro. I take pride in this, so I gotta pat myself on the back. Like I just like giving. I don't give to receive. I just give shit. If I receive something later on, cool. Because I look at I receive blessings.
Hmm.
That's how I look at it. I receive my blessings. I don't gotta. If I give you a free book, you don't gotta give me your free book when your shit come out. Like it doesn't have to be even. You know what I mean? Like it just.
Sure.
I'm gonna get it somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I hate
And but
people
that
like
comes,
I hate keep
but
score
I
people.
what's that?
I hate people that keep score. That's
Mm,
why it made me not ask for people for stuff because I started asking for help and people like, remember that time bro, I didn't really need you to do that. Like, you know, like it could have been helping me with the groceries. Remember that time I helped you when you had them 10 groceries? Yeah, I could have did it myself. It just would have took me longer, bro. I didn't know that was gonna make me owe you a favor back. Like, you
mhm.
know, now
Absolutely.
I'm required to join you on this mission because you did something for me. Like,
What that reminds me of, like, I remember I was moving some shit into my apartment here in Brooklyn, and I had ordered what was it? It was a bunk bed for my son, and it's all in parts, right? So but these boxes are fucking heavy, and I'm trying to load them in, and these guys kept coming by asking me for help. And I know they weren't just asking out of their heart. They were like, they want to be like, oh, we got like $5 for that. You know, like,
yeah.
that's like, no, I'll fucking struggle on my own. Thank you. Like,
When I
I
went
go
to
to the gym,
Mexico,
I
that
can
was the
hang out.
worst experience. I gave some money. I had a whole village chasing me. I'm like, damn, bro. Then they,
Like, there's the dude. He's got the money.
they follow you and stuff. I'm like, bro, like I'm about to start running in a minute. Like, what's going on? It was just $5. Yeah, that's $500 for us. Oh shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but have just having that mentality of loss or of scarcity. I mean, I know that gets tossed around a lot, like having a scarcity mindset, an abundance mindset, and they don't understand that it doesn't equate to you having a lot of shit, right? There's people who have a lot of shit who still have a scarcity mindset,
Thanks.
and it keeps them still hungry even though they could fucking feed an entire village, right?
You
and
want
and
something
like
hilarious?
Scrooge.
You want to hear something hilarious, bro?
What's that?
Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like me. You know why? Because I'm always happy. Ain't that some shit?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like me because I'm always happy. Like it's too good to be true. No, I just love my fucking self.
Right.
You can learn how to learn.
And but the problem with that is there people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to go down that path of like sorting themselves out, dealing with their shit, dealing with the trauma, and getting through that, because it's difficult and confusing. And it's like, well, who's going to teach you, because your fucking dad is gone, right? Or your dad is there but he's just as lost as you are, right? And he's just fucking sitting in front of the TV with his fucking beer, and his wife hates him. And it's like, well, I don't fucking blame you, but you go find somebody to help your ass, right? And like that's kind of the thing. Like, I don't think it's bad to ask for help. Like, I'm all for people, like, because we cannot do everything on ourselves. Like, it's promoted as men should do everything by themselves. But shit, do you think Elon Musk built himself up by himself? Fuck
Nobody
no.
did.
Fuck no. He built teams of people, right? And they had a collective vision. They got behind him. It was like, yeah, I'm on your shit, right? I'm with you, bro. And boom, they go up. So but you have to have that courage to understand you don't know everything, right? So I don't know everything. I don't know everything about business. I've got two business coaches, right? Because they know fucking business. But guess what? I'm helping one of them because he just got out of a divorce. So he's all messed up. So it's like, but he doesn't know how to deal with that shit. And so it's like I want to try to break that narrative that men can't ask for help, that it makes you a pussy. No, it's fucking strategically smart to go to somebody who's smarter than you and say, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Right? But it's with the understanding that like there is no, what you were saying, like a you owe me sort of shit. Right? If they have that you owe me mentality, you got to find a different teacher.
Yeah, and you can feel it's not even that they ask it, you can feel that kind of energy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like what's in it for me?
Like like even if you feel like that, you feeling that and you saying it, it really just, like I say, I put myself first too, but I don't shit on other people to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like I got my book, it's somewhere, Dominance Mindset of a King.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dating book. That's the one for dating.
Oh, okay.
That's that. Here, I'll show you. I
Yeah.
mean, it's right
Well, I'm,
here.
I'm looking at them right now. You got the
Oh.
dominance mindset of a king, the key to your future self,
Mm,
conversations with the mind, analytical confusion. I don't know what that is, and finesse game.
yeah.
So I have an idea what finesse game is. We talked about conversation with the mind. What is analytical confusion?
That's just for one, like I'm a painter and stuff. Like I got this is just shit I got around.
Okay.
I just paint, draw, so it's like I put a lot of this is not in there, but I just got my stuff in here. Just different styles. So it's just like it was me talking about relationships, but giving my honest, transparent thoughts on it, not saying this is what you do or why this is like this is how I feel, and this so that I got personal on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like I have certain talking points in my content, so I just unpack those of why I tell guys, like I mean guys like, should you get married? I be telling guys, shit, if that's what make you happy, but just I don't care. I don't want to get married, but just because I don't want to, I'm not going to teach you not to. But what I will tell you do is if you do that, know the risk and just do it because you want to. That's because some guys just get married because the girl is getting on their nerves or they didn't got caught cheating and they like, no, baby, I'm serious this time. I won't do it. Look, I'm gonna marry you. That kind of stuff. So I kind of unpack and then just every piece in there that I talk about, I have some of my art to contrast my vision. Like I
Mm-hmm.
got one eliminating darkness or something like that. So I had drew a real dark excuse me, I didn't draw that. Was an oil painting of a skeleton. So that's each it's like a poetry almost, but it's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like poetry, but my thoughts. And then there's art for that one. That's why, like you look at the cover, that's why I designed the cover like that. Cause it's like, okay, well, when you're in class, you're bored. You remember those yellow books like that? Those
Yep.
little, and that's why I thought about the art. Because you're
Mm-hmm.
doodling. So these are my constructive, these are my organized thoughts and my organized doodles in my sketchbook. So it's just like your sketchbook. You got a bunch of random shit and drawing in there too. Mine just organized.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's analytical confusion.
Right. Yeah, for me, it was always the side of my textbook. When you close all the pages and you write on the edge of the pages, I would do drawings and shit in there, graffiti and so on. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's cool. So it's more like anecdotal references to your own inner experience.
Instead of just telling guys, "Dur, dur, dur, dur," like, no, I'm gonna tell you like why I don't want to like I always tell guys, like, because I'm single, and I be telling, dude, I am not single because I want to run through women, dude. I
Mhm.
can run through women however, whatever kind of status I've got. But what I'm saying is I just like freedom. I always had a problem with people telling me what to do.
Mhm.
I never, but I just figured that was life. You just deal with it. But then when I got to a point when I figured out. I didn't have to deal with it. It's like, well, shit, I'm not.
Yeah. Well,
So
what's
I
really
get the
cool
book.
is being honest with yourself
Mhm.
and what you just said, like knowing like, is this really what you want to do? And having that honesty, because the interactions become so much better when you're honest with yourself and you're honest with the women in your life. And there's this one girl that I know, and she knows my situation. She knows I don't want to get married. She does, okay. And I'm like, and she knows that I'm not that dude. So she dates around, looks for that dude, and dates people with that mindset. But when she's talking to me, when she's spending time with me, it's very free. It's very open, and we can do whatever the fuck we want. We can chill, or we can fuck, or we can talk about collaborations or whatever. And there's no expectation because I'm dead honest with her. So she knows exactly what to expect from me. So she
Mhm.
can relax, right? It's not like, oh, what can I get out of him? Or I hope he does this, or I hope he does that. She's free to like me as much as she wants to like me.
Right.
And there's no loss or gain. It's just like a really good relationship that's unique on its own.
You never really know women until you don't try to date them. Guys go about it all the wrong. We start off as a friend and then they work their way up to the relationship. That's the way.
That's got to be on a postcard or something. You
That's
don't really know women until you don't try to date them.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And then you can know really what to do when you do decide to get down, because what you were saying is that it's a huge responsibility, and they don't get this. It's not a fucking game.
Yeah, they just think it's in house, somebody cooking, and somebody you can laugh with your favorite shows. We both love Seinfeld. We both love pizza, and we both love drinking wine, baby. This is it. This more than
uh,
life. How does she
no.
handle? How does she handle adversities? Adversity. How does she handle that? How does
Uh-huh.
she handle when somebody call her ugly? Does she melt that? Like that's what you need to know.
Hmm.
And you don't get those experiences when you're I like you. You want to go out Friday? You don't get that type of shit then.
No, no, man. I'm looking forward to when like my son starts dating and getting out there and talking to girls, because it's just I, I'm just looking forward to it, Just tell it, just spit the game to him, and he's gonna be like, "Daddy, I don't know why all these girls they like me, but you know,
Do you
like
always go with women, or did you have to like go through
I
some?
I was see, before I got married, I was natural. I guess what you would call is like I had natural game. So I was naturally good I was like the tiger that didn't know it was a tiger. And I was
Right,
like, I'm just good at killing shit.
right.
I don't get it. And so, and then like after I got married, it kind of went away. I had a falling out with myself. I had a very rude awakening with myself. And then slowly I had to relearn everything. And mostly just the relationship with myself. I had to relearn that. And
Don't lose yourself in relationships. The listeners, well, I want to emphasize that
mhm,
you have to stick. Your girl is going to try to change you. This is the number one mistake I made. Listening. Oh, let me just. She said I don't. She said she don't like me wearing my hat no more. So let me just wear my waves now.
mhm.
Then that happens. Then it's something else. She says she don't like my thinking, man. I'm retiring. Now, then after I do those two things, then we'll be happy. I'll clarify, which she's like. No, it's gonna be always blue stuff, bro. They think
I,
that once they handle this, and this, like, hey, I don't like your friend because Justin has a bald head. Okay, Justin, my wife really doesn't want to just grow the fade back. You grow your fade back. Look, what happened, Justin? Look, I told him. He listened to me. Look at yeah, that what you talking about? Why you showing me? You said convince him to cut his hair. Oh well, I forgot. I would just that's how I felt at the moment.
mm,
I didn't really care. But wait, it's like you
yep.
can't listen to him and be like, oh, okay, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm in a number of like Facebook groups, talking to men. It's how I acquisition many of my clients. And the in the divorce ones or the relationship ones, like the dads only groups, they're just like they're like I don't get it. Like, things are like kind of tight. And I started doing more housework, started doing all the dishes. I took on half the laundry and, she's still mad at me. Like, and I'm doing all the shit that she wanted me to do. And it's just like, well, that just goes to show that she doesn't know and you don't know. Like, if she thought that that's what would make her happy, she doesn't know what makes her happy.
She mad because you know why she mad, bro? Because she mad because she had to tell you some shit that don't even work because you didn't figure it out. So she's
Yeah.
got to tell you random stuff and make you
Uh
run.
huh.
Yeah.
It's like it's bigger and simpler than that, right? It's just like it's just you, dude. Like you fucking suck, right? Because you're like a little leaf that just gets blown around, and it's like, well, how the fuck you gonna respect that? How you gonna respect a leaf that gets blown around in the wind, right? It's fucked up, you know. Well, Afi, man, it was good connecting with you. And I'm gonna check into your other books after I listen to the first one that you sent me. And if you want to pop into my room, we can rap a little bit more. I'm gonna just take a break here and um, get
Yeah,
some
I know.
food and then hop in.
I'm down to talk on the groups. I don't post on there no more though. But
Yeah.
I'll be in the lock in. If you need somebody to tag in, I know somebody. Well, let me hit up. You know what? That's gonna make you be more of a boss. Oh, let me just hit up the dating coach of the year real quick. That happened to be my partner. Let me get him over here. Oh, you
Uh,
you can slide through real quick. Okay, cool. Oh yeah,
uh,
international dating coach of the year. He'll be here in 20 minutes. You got just
uh-huh.
for women too and men.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm learning that these ladies got, I mean, it does have a lot to do with who the dude is, but these ladies got to be educated too, man, because they're all fucked up. Like,
Guys give me shit because guys give me shit in the red pill because I'm always got women on there
mhm.
talking in my chat, posting my that's pimping right there. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, who you got in your chat? Like 12-year-old gamers with calluses on their dick?
Yeah.
You know?
You know?
It's like, come on, dude. They think, yeah, they don't even fucking know. They don't know. These kids don't know. All right, dude. Well, it was great. I'm sure just talk to you more in the future. I'll see you on YouTube with AV and doing your own shit. And yeah, just pop in.
When you slide through, don't secret watch no more. I want to see every time you live from now on.
All right.
You know,
Sounds good.
don't secret watch. Now, if you catching the playback, if you was on a date, was doing all kind of stuff, you couldn't catch it. Like, all right. If you just sitting right there, I'll just be sitting right there looking like this is a good show. Yeah, you better start saying this stuff.
All right. All right. Sounds
All right,
good. Sounds
man. Good
good.
to talk to you, bro.
All right, man. Thank
Pleasure.
you. Thank you.
Peace.
This is the Forge Project. Thank you for listening, and we are out of here.